Welcome back. Today I'm going to open up Road to Rivendell. Pretty excited about this one. Let's see what's inside and who this guy is. No clue about what it is, or what the story is on the back. Okay. So is the brother, the other half. Elro here is in play. Eladon gets +2 attack. He declares an attack or pay resource to ready him. Okay, well that's interesting. I don't like that he's tactics, so just because it's solo player. So there's Elro here. Leadership. Pretty similar when he's in play. Over here gets +2 defense. They both have the ability to spend a resource to ready themselves. So when they're both in play, you've got a 3 defender, a 3 attacker, and you would have 20 threat if you play just the 2 of them. Just by themselves is 20. I just don't really play tactics. Other than the occasional card. That's probably really good, and I'm just not happy because he's tactics. I'll put him over here. Okay, let's see what cards I've got. Dwarrowdelf Wanderer. Range Sentinel with Secrecy 3. So he's pretty expensive, but Secrecy 3, he would be only 2. And I mean, that's just for 2, that stat block, I mean, that's pretty good, I would say. But you gotta have that secrecy. No secrecy is not worth it. He's way too expensive. These are just initial reactions. I don't know what any of these cards are going to be. So an axe on a map. Lure of Moria. Ready all dwarf characters for 3. So it's like, what's it? Grim Resolve, ready all characters. And they cost 5, but on a dwarf deck you get this for 3. The road that I speak of leads to the mines of Moria, said Gandalf. Only Gimli lifted up his head. A smoldering fire was in his eyes. I like that art. Rivendell Blade. Only Noldor or Sylvan characters can have it. So these guys are Noldor. Or how many? When a touch character attacks an enemy gets -2 defense. That's pretty good. That's kind of like having +2 attack. That's probably a good card. Hail of Stones. Throw rocks, it works. Exhaust X characters deal X damage to an enemy in the staging area. That's... I don't know, that seems like it could be pretty good. If you have a whole lot of allies, there's some big guy out there. That seems like it could be good. To me, I don't know. Except I don't play tactics cards. Not many of them, at least. Writer for the Margot Rohan character. Let's see, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's costed okay. He can spend a action, spend a spirit resource to give control of this guy to another player. So this is completely useless to me as a solo player. Response after he changes control. Discard a shadow card dealt to an enemy you are engaged with. So I give him to you and I get rid of a shadow card. Seems, you know, decent. Seems like a decent card. You pass him back and forth and then use him for questing, because he doesn't have to exhaust to do this, so you can use him to quest and then pass him over to get rid of a shadow card. It seems like a pretty decent card, but not for a solo player. For me, it's totally useless because I don't play 2 decks. Oh well. Oh, Song of Rivendell. 1 attached to a spirit hero, like Dwallin or whoever. After it enters play, draw a card. After another player raises his threat, raise your threat by 1 to reduce that player's threat by 1. That response is awesome. Actually, they're both good. It seems good, but you know, not for a solo player. The first response I liked, and then I read the second part and I got less excited. A lot of good multiplayer cards in here. All right, like even this, I would never play these guys in one deck. Actually, leadership tactics goes together, but I would want another player to make up for like the lore and spirit cards that I don't have. So even these guys, but I bet I wouldn't be surprised if it's possible to do a solo deck with them. Okay, well, moving on. I'm moving through these pretty quickly, I guess. A dwarf guy, Bomber. Oh, okay. Bomber. I've got Biffer and Bomber. He's really expensive. Oh, he has 1 defense, 3 hit points for 3. Okay, his action better be good. Exhaust and choose a location. The location gets -1 threat until the end of the phase. But if it's an underground location, it doesn't contribute threat at all. Yeah, I don't know about him. That doesn't seem good to me. That seems like it could be clutch in certain scenarios when you're underground a lot. Exhaust him, it doesn't contribute to stat at all. But there's so many quests where you don't want, like, it would be great if you're like, I need to get over this hump and quest a ton and rush the ending. But there's a lot of quests now that they're coming out with where it's not strategy. Well, jury's out, I guess, on that. I mean, if you have Dane, he has 1 willpower, but that's still 3 for that stat block is really expensive. I don't think he's good. I could be wrong. Out of the Wild. 3, secrecy 2, so if you have secrecy, if your threats Which one of your last only costs 1. Search the top 5 cards of the encounter deck for any one non-objective card worth no victory points and add it to your victory display. Shuffle the encounter deck. That's actually pretty good, I would say, especially if you're paying 1 for it, because it's just controlling the encounter deck. Basically, putting it in the victory display is putting it out of play. It's kind of like putting it in exile. It won't be shuffled back in because it's not in the discard pile. So, and there are restrictions. Well, you wouldn't. Why would you want to put an objective card in the victory display? So it's not going to give you victory points, and it's not going to get rid of the worst, nastiest guys. But you can get rid of some nasty treacheries. I think that's definitely playable. It's just too bad it's an event. I don't think there's any way to get lore events back unless you used Will of the West or something like that. There's no way to get this card back after you play it. At least currently that I can think of. But that would definitely, if I could do secrecy, would make my deck for sure. Alright, so here the end comes. After a dwarf character leaves play, shuffle the encounter discard pile back into the encounter deck. Well, that could help if you get an objective that, well, like, here's an objective card. Like, if she got discarded as a shat, well, you probably start with her. But, for example, if you had something that you needed, like tools or something like that, it got discarded as a shadow effect, this would at least put it back in. But is that a good card? I mean, that's why you would use this. It's for that. That's the only thing you would use this for that I can think of. There's that other card, Shadow of the Past, which is also neutral. Let's see. And that one seems way better. Yeah, Shadow of the Past costs 2, and that one you put the top card of the encounter discard pile on top of the draw deck. Of course, you'd have to have it in your hand at just the right time. Oh. So these encounter cards are, not being an expert at the game, off the cuff, I would say my favorites are Out of the Wild. I mean, I would rate this card, but just not for me as a solo one-handed player. I'm not going to start playing 2 decks. But otherwise, this would be, I think, really good. As well as Rider of the Mark, I think looks like a great card. I think that's a great card, but I will never play it. I actually, there's a chance I would play it, just if I were having if I had a Rivendell deck, because it is too well, you know. I just can't do his powers, so he would be on the block, maybe. I think that's a cool card thematically, and at least the dwarf deck I'm playing right now has a lot of cheap allies, so a lot of times I have tons out, so that would be actually useful against the troll or something like that. There's times when I have 7 or 8 allies out. That's a good card. I just probably won't play it, but I would rate that one pretty highly. That's okay. What was this one? Oh, and this guy's great. That's a really good ally. With secrecy. If you pay 2 for that guy, that's really good. That's really good stat block for only 2. Like, one of the better cheap allies, in my opinion, is Erebor Hammersmith. I think he's amazing. because of what he does, you can recycle your attachments, so you can get a card draw engine with Ancient Madam, and just his cost compared to his stat block is what makes him good. Because if you add up his stats, 6, so you're getting two. You pay 2 resources for 6 stats. I kind of think of allies as a standard base cost is resource cost is equal to half the sum. So if it's less than that, then you're getting some kind of value. If it's more, then they're pricey. They better have a really good ability. So those guys got tons of value. The 3 hit points is amazing, and he can do a little bit of anything for you. And that response is great. So this guy, he's only 1/3, 2 to 6. So he would be 2 to 7 with secrecy, even more value. You know, only 2 hit points, but 2 attack, 2 defense. I mean, that's just great. That would be just amazing. He would be auto include probably for any secrecy deck if I make one, which I probably will, because I actually like that style of lowering, keeping threat low. But I don't think there's enough secrecy cards yet in terms of what I have, where we are in the card pool. Okay, so the next quest here is Road to Rivendell. So it looks like hanging out with Arwen again. Here's the Arwen. It's the exact same. It's just a reprint with a new set symbol. So we're still hanging out with her for some reason. Because in the prior quest we went across the mountains. Well, it's not going to show here. Yeah. Went over here to go to River, and then I guess this is the part of the quest where we're over the mountains, and now we're gonna finish going to Rivendell. I want to really just look at the art without really looking at the cards too much. Sleeping Sentry. Oh man, that guy looks scary. A lot of those guys. Oh, Cribane. Bear. So what is the... Your parties brave the snows of the pass, but now must travel north along the misty mountains for league upon league as you escort one up to her father's house. So, yeah, Cribane. So it's like the Fellowship with the Ring in reverse. Cribane are going to be following me, even though I'm not like carrying the ring. Saruman's not like watching me, but they're going to put that in there. Alright, well, let's look at the quests. Where the handout. This thing. Very low key. I'm a very low energy dude. Dwarrowdelf decks, and so this thing is a difficulty level 4, which means probably who knows what that even means. The heroes continue their journey northward to Rivendell, escorting Arwen to visit her father Elrond. The road is long, and orcs ambush the party along the way. With enemies hounding the heroes' steps, the weather drives the party ever closer to the looming mountains and the dangers they hold. So we've got the Misty Mountains encounter set again, and these plundering goblins. Misty Mountains got like stuff in it I don't like. Arwen is here yet again. Same card. And we've got ambush keyword and secrecy X keyword. And that's the same rules text. That's probably going to be in every pack. I said that this has ambush. When an enemy with an ambush keyword enters play, each player, starting with the first player and proceeding clockwise, must make an engagement check. Engagement check is only made against the enemy that just entered play, and not enemies that are in the staging area. If the enemy engages a player as a result of this effect, no further engagement checks are made against it. When it enters play, when it enters play, it makes an engagement check, so that means during the staging step. What difference does that really make? It just means that that enemy, if its threat were low enough to actually engage somebody, then it wouldn't contribute its threat to the quest, to the stage. It wouldn't contribute its threat to the staging area. It would just engage you. So, however, if it didn't have the ambush keyword and it had low enough cost to engage you, then it would sit there, contribute its threat, making the quest slightly more difficult, and then it would engage you anyway after you resolve the quest's phase. So I don't see how this is like that much of an ambush, because if anything, it makes it easier for you because you don't have to deal with its threat on top of everything else. It just engages you. I don't really understand the point. Am I missing out on something? Let me find an enemy that has ambush. Maybe the particular enemies that have it are nasty. Okay, Goblin Taskmaster. 27. After it engages a player, the player deals 2 damage to one character he controls. And that's nasty regardless. It could potentially kill somebody questing. Who's questing? Is it the only one with ambush? Raiders has ambush 21, so that's pretty low. After they engage the player discards 2 attachments he controls of Halo. Well, that's worse because you could have things boosting your willpower, like Calabrian Stone and Dunedain, whatever it is, Dunedain Quest or whatever, that one. Something that's boosting your flavor of the lady, and you can lose that, and that could make you lose the quest. But in terms of the ambush, I mean, that's nasty regardless. So he's got to ambush the bear. When it engages, it makes an immediate attack. Now, see, that one makes sense. That actually seems like an actual ambush right there, because it jumps on you and then you're fighting before, in the staging step. So that one makes sense. The others don't really. I'll have to read up on this. The community's reaction to ambush. It doesn't seem that special to me. Well, anyway, that's it. Those are the cards and everything. Road to Rivendell.